Hello, and welcome to today's Guardian training video. This video will cover agency and applicant-initiated background check applications. There are two ways an applicant's background check application may be submitted. The agency may submit a background check application on behalf of an applicant, or the agency may provide the applicant with an applicant instruction form to begin the process in their own respective Guardian portal. The following topics will be covered in this training video. Agency-initiated applications, which will cover the following subtopics: adding a new applicant, entering pre-association information, verifying an applicant's identity, agency payment, which is only applicable to home care organizations, data review, and uploading the applicant's self-disclosure via the application administration feature. Then we will cover the applicant-initiated applications via the applicant instruction form. Each topic discussed in today's video will correlate with the section in the Licensing and Home Care Agency User Guide with step-by-step instructions to assist with navigation through Guardian. First, we will discuss agency-initiated applications. Prior to an agency applying on behalf of an applicant, ensure the applicant has a valid email address. The email address is required for the applicant to obtain their pre-populated LiveScan form and access their Guardian account. All steps we will cover in this section must be completed to successfully submit an application on behalf of an applicant. Before we begin, keep in mind, this process is for brand new applicants who have never fingerprinted for a community care licensing agency. This includes the home care registry, trust line, foster family agencies, and all licensing facilities. If an applicant already exists in the database, please refer to the video tutorial for conducting in-network and out-of-network connections. To begin an application, from the home page, hover over Applications and select Add New. The first step to submitting a new application is to enter one search element for each row for your applicant. You may enter the individual's social security number, identity document, or personnel identification number, and either their last name or their date of birth. Once complete, select Search. Guardian will display any applicable results. If the individual was not found in Guardian, you can select Add New Applicant. Once you select Add New Applicant, the personal and demographic information page will populate. Again, if the applicant already exists in the system, the search will route to the applicant's person summary page. If this occurs, please refer to the video tutorial for in-network and out-of-network connections. Enter the applicant's personal and demographic information. All required fields will be marked with the red asterisk. Again, the applicant's email address is a required field. The applicant will need to provide you with their email address in order to obtain their pre-populated LiveScan form and access their Guardian portal. Please note, if the mailing address differs from the permanent address entered, unselect this checkbox. You may then enter a new or separate mailing address. To add an alias or prior name, select Add Alias in the Prior Names and Aliases section of the profile. Aliases or prior names are any additional names an individual may use or has used in the past. This might include an applicant's maiden name, a nickname, or a formal name. An alias can also include another social security number or date of birth that an applicant may be currently using or may have used in the past. Add all applicable information and click Save once complete. The name will then appear towards the bottom of the page. If the applicant has lived in a different state within the last 5 years, you will need to enter the prior address to the applicant's profile. To add a prior address, click Add Prior Address in the Prior Addresses section of the profile. Enter the address information for the applicant, then click Save. You may add as many previous addresses as needed. If this does not apply to your applicant, you may select the individual reports that they have not lived out of state during the specified time frame. Select Next once complete. Now we will cover entering pre-association information for an applicant. First, I will cover entering pre-association information for an applicant as a licensing agency. Then we will cover entering pre-association information for an applicant as a home care organization. This step of the process allows you to enter specific information regarding the position for which your applicant is applying for. In the application details section of the page, enter values for all of the fields available. For the agency dropdown, most agency users of the system will be associated with only one agency, and that agency name will be the default agency listed. If your Guardian account oversees multiple agencies, such as the example here, select the appropriate agency for this application from the dropdown. From the agency dropdown, I will select a daycare. The request type, program, and position category are going to auto-populate based on the agency's program. The request type will determine the position options available in the dropdown. Select the applicable position type from the dropdown. Select Next once complete. If you are a home care organization, your agency request type, program, position category, and positions will look slightly different. From the agency dropdown, select the applicable home care organization the applicant would like to be associated to. You'll notice the program type has auto-populated to home care services. Select the request type dropdown. You will notice there are 4 options. The first request type, HCA Initial Registry, is for an initial applicant who wants to be associated to the Home Care Aid Registry. When submitting an application on behalf of this applicant, you as a home care organization are agreeing to pay the registry fees for this applicant. If you do not want to pay the registry fees for this applicant, you will have to provide the applicant with an applicant instruction form, and they will have to initiate the application through their portal to pay their fee. The second option, Home Care Org HCA Registry Renewal, is to renew a home care aids registry. Again, when selecting this option, you are agreeing as a home care agency to pay the fee for the registry renewal. Non-HCA positions is the request type you will select for all non-home care aid positions who are going to be associated to your home care organization. And finally, the fourth request type, Home Care Organization, Registered HCA, is the request type you will select for a home care aide who is already registered and on the registry, and you would like them to be associated to your home care organization. For this purpose, I'm going to select Home Care Aid Initial Registry. And again, this request type indicates that this applicant is brand new to the Home Care Services Registry, and as the home care organization, I am agreeing to pay for the registry fees. You will notice the position options in the dropdown differ from the licensing options. Again, these positions are tailored based on the agency selected. Select Next once complete. Now we will discuss the Verify Applicant Identity page. Again, you will notice all required fields on this page are marked with the red asterisk. Select an identity document from the Documents dropdown. The issuing state or authority is the state or government agency that issued the identification. For instance, because I selected California driver's license, the issuing state would be California. Next, you can enter the document number. For this example, I will enter the California driver's license for this applicant. The expiration date is an optional field, as well as uploading a copy of the identity document. It is helpful to notice the Withdraw feature and the Save and Close feature towards the bottom of the page. If you select Withdraw, you permanently close the application. A confirmation page will appear prior to completing this action. The Save and Close feature allows you to save the application and continue it at a later time. You may access saved applications by accessing Applications and Not Yet Submitted on the navigation bar. You will be able to then locate the application and select Resume. Select Next once complete. The functions of the Research Registries page is to confirm the appropriate request type was selected during the pre-association portion of the application. For home care organizations, this will ensure applicants new to the registry are identified appropriately and also prevents those who have already applied do not have to pay application fees again. The search results should appear with one of the following: Cleared, which indicates the correct request type was selected and the agency may continue in the application process. No further action is needed on this page if the research registry results in cleared. However, cleared does not mean the applicant is cleared to work, nor have they cleared the background check. If the research results in a not cleared response, this indicates the incorrect request type was selected, and the agency must go back and correct the error prior to continuing the application. An error message should appear towards the bottom of the page, and the agency should not be able to continue in the application process. Select Next once complete. For licensing agencies, you will receive the No Payment is Required for this application message and can continue by selecting Next. For home care organizations, if a fee is required, there are two options to pay the fee. By selecting Credit, the browser will redirect to a payment page. You will return to the application once the payment is complete. By selecting Batch Payment, you will defer the payment to be paid at a later time. Please refer to the user guide for more information on this process. Once the applicable selection has been made, select Next. You will then be routed to the Data Review page. The next step of the application process is to review and confirm the applicant's data is correct and select Submit. If profile information needs to be changed, you may select Edit Applicant Profile. If the profile information is correct, select Submit. Upon submitting the applicant's application, the system will present an application submitted confirmation page and provide the deadline the applicant has to submit fingerprints. For home care organizations, the LiveScan form will not generate until the registry payment has been made. To access any pending payments, you may hover over the Applications tab and select Pending Payments, or you may access pending payments from the At-a-Glance dashboard. For licensing agencies, the applicant's LiveScan form will generate on the confirmation page. The pre-populated LiveScan form may be printed and provided to the applicant. In both scenarios, both the licensing and home care agency route, the applicant will receive an email from Guardian with the link to register for a Guardian applicant account. In the applicant's portal, the applicant will be able to access their LiveScan form once available, upload any needed background exemption documents, and track their applications. Prior to being complete with the application, it is important to note the application number and background check number to easily search for the applicant and complete the next step. After an electronic application has been submitted, the agency must upload a copy of the LIC 508 or 508D into Guardian due to the self-disclosure questions. Note, you are required to upload a scanned copy of the disclosure signed by the applicant to complete the application process. To complete this step, hover over Applications and select Application Administration on the navigation bar. The Application Administration page will populate. The application ID is the application number provided on the confirmation page. Enter the application ID number and select Search. The applicant's name and date of birth should populate at the top of the page. It is important to ensure you are submitting the disclosure for the correct applicant. Review the application administration page. To upload a copy of the disclosure statement, select Upload Document. The Upload Application Document box will populate. To search your device for a document, select the text box under File Name. Locate the document. You may then name the document. Select Upload once complete. You must then select the applicant disclosure link, which will route you to a new page to complete the disclosure on behalf of the applicant. You will then be required to re-enter the application number, the applicant's last name, and date of birth. Once complete, select Start Disclosure. You will then be prompted to answer a series of questions which should mirror the LIC 508. Answer all appropriate questions based on your applicant's response and select Next. Once complete, select Submit and you will receive the Disclosure Complete page. Once the disclosure has been complete, you may return back to the Guardian portal. Select Submit. And you have successfully submitted an agency-initiated application for an applicant. Next, we will discuss applicant-initiated applications. Applicants can initiate the background check process online through their respective portals. However, in order for an applicant to successfully submit an application, they must obtain an agency's unique PIN number. An agency PIN number is located on an applicant instruction form. Again, the PIN is a required field for the applicant during the application process. To locate an applicant instruction form, hover over Applications and select Application Form from the navigation bar. The Applications Form page will appear. Under the Agency Selection dropdown, select the agency for which you would like to generate an applicant instruction form and select Generate Form. Note, only agencies under the user account will populate. Again, select Generate Form when you have made your selection. For licensing agencies, you may either select Agency or Applicant from the dropdown. Select Display Report. The applicant instruction form will then be generated. This form, again, is an instruction document for the applicant. This document may be saved and emailed to the applicant or printed and provided to the applicant. The applicant instruction form displays the agency's name, your agency's unique PIN number, the URL to the Guardian Applicant Portal, and instructions on how to register as a new user. For home care organizations, select the appropriate agency from the dropdown and select Generate Form. The option you select from the payment dropdown, again for home care organizations only, will determine who will be required to pay the applicant's registry fee. By selecting agency from the dropdown, you as the home care organization are selecting the specific PIN in which your agency will be required to pay the registry fee. By selecting applicant from the dropdown, you are providing the PIN to prompt the applicant to pay their registry fee during their application process. Once the appropriate selection has been made, select Display Report. The associated applicant instruction form will generate. Again, the applicant instruction form will list the agency's name for the applicant, the agency's unique PIN number, the URL to access the Guardian Applicant Portal, and instructions for how to register as a new user. Once an applicant has completed their registration process and completed their application in the Applicant Guardian Portal, their application will appear in the Not Yet Submitted category. As mentioned in the Guardian 101 video, the at-a-glance dashboard should be utilized as a checklist for actions needed. Applications found in Not Yet Submitted are either applications submitted by an applicant via the applicant instruction form or applications which an agency has saved to come back to at a later time. When reviewing applications in Not Yet Submitted, locate the application in which you would like to submit. Select Resume. You will then be required to review all of the information input by the applicant and walk through the application steps. If no changes need to be made, you may continue to the next page. The Preassociation Information page will populate. If no changes need to be made, you may continue to the next step. Continue to verify all information on the following screens are correct. If no information needs to be changed or updated, you may continue. Once you have made it to the Data Review page, you can review all information, and again, if correct, select Submit. Once the application has been submitted, the pre-populated LiveScan form will be available for the agency to print if needed, and will also be available to the applicant in their portal. When providing applicants with the applicant instruction form, you will not have to upload the applicant's disclosure as instructed to do so in the agency-initiated application. When you are providing applicants with the instruction form, they answer the disclosure questions on their own through their portal, which eliminates the requirement for the agency. Again, when utilizing the applicant instruction form, it allows the applicant to enter their own demographic information and answer their own disclosure questions. However, utilizing the applicant instruction form requires the agency to resume the application and submit. This concludes the agency and applicant initiated background applications video for licensing and home care agencies. Additional training videos may be located at guardian.dss.ca.gov. Thank you for watching.